Hi, I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down, brand new documentary for HBO, Very Ralph. Susan Lacy's here with us. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How's everything going?
That's great.
Pretty interesting going into this guy's life, right?
Yeah, very interesting. His story is a lot deeper and richer and more complex than I realized when I started the film.
So you were just telling me off camera you didn't really know a ton about him. How much did you actually know about Ralph Lauren?
I think I knew about him what most people know about him, or if anybody knows anything. They know he was born Ralph Lifshitz. I mean, it's the first thing anybody says. Yeah. You say, I'm doing a film on Ralph Lauren. Oh, you mean Ralph Lifshitz? In the Bronx. He started with ties, and he built a global multi-bajillion-dollar business.
It's pretty wild how it all popped up
making pretty clothes.
Yeah. But we really get a glimpse into who this guy is as a man. Like, even going back to the whole tie thing, like you have that one part in there with Bloomingdale's, and he was ready to just walk away from everything. So what was most interesting to you about him in those earlier parts of his life? Well,
just about everything, actually. The fact that he had no training.
Yeah.
He put on his first fashion show before he'd ever been to a fashion show.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That he had the courage to walk away from what could have been a very cushy situation financially when he didn't have a penny in the bank. Because he didn't want to give up his name on the label, and he didn't want to compromise his design. And I think that's who Ralph is. That's a Ralph that's been that same Ralph since then. You know, doesn't compromise, has a very strong singular vision, and a very healthy ego. And I don't say that in a negative way. You have to have a healthy ego to you know, become that kind of person. To become that famous, to kind of build an empire, you have to trust your instincts and believe in yourself.
And he almost lost the business too,
yeah.
Which seems to be like a constant story with a lot of these different people, like Phil Knight with Nike. He almost lost his business, but like he found a way to do it. What was it like unpacking his resourcefulness and making it all happen?
Well, I was very moved by, I mean, he did lose his business.
Yeah.
And because he didn't have a business background either. So you know, he kind of grew too fast and had his eyes bigger than your stomach sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then he just couldn't stand it. As he said, I couldn't bear to tell my father that I lost my business. So he said, I'm going to get it back.
Thank goodness for Bloomingdale's, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get it back. And he got it back. And yeah, I mean, luck plays a part in all of this, in everybody's story.
Totally.
Somebody who believes in you, Marvin Child believed in him out of Bloomingdale's. I don't know that kind of thing would happen again today.
No, definitely not.
You
not
know,
on that individual level like that.
No, I really think that made a big difference. And he had a very supportive wife. You know, Ricky had said, are you kidding? We don't have any money. I mean, they were living with a mattress on the floor. Didn't you find that amazing?
Yes, that was really interesting. I mean, the humblest of beginnings for them.
That totally, absolutely floored me. And that they were so happy. And I mean, there's even more stories. And they went to vintage stores and found these, you know, $5 furs, put them around, and you know, staying up all night and gilding the frames of the windows, and then having a turquoise Princess telephone, which he was so proud of.
Wow.
You know, he said, I couldn't imagine it ever had that. We loved it because it's so modern. And they had 2 orange director's chairs, and I could not find a way to get that in there because it was done from different interviews, and I couldn't make it work sound-wise. But I could imagine this apartment. And then where the idea of dream boards started was there. You know, put up your dreams on a bulletin board. And it was the beginning. And he has stayed with that idea of, I don't know if you remember the opening of the film.
Oh, yeah, all the different cut shots that you have.
Yeah, but also those beautiful tableaus that we made of, you know, many of them drawn from his own, you know, shooting it off the wall practically, of how he would put images together and things, and a piece of fabric with a glove, and you know, he started that really early in his life. The thing that was difficult is I had the story, I had Ricky telling me we would put up our dreams on this board like Bugatti. I can't remember what car it was actually.
Yeah, he was a big car guy.
Yeah, but they put a Morgan.
Okay, right.
That's what she said. We put a Morgan up, and of course he ended up having a Morgan and all that. And then I had to put myself into the mind of Ralph Lauren to figure out what else he would have put up there.
Right, yeah.
Because I would say, what else did you have on that board? And he couldn't remember. Things we thought were beautiful, you know, a place we loved, a house we loved, an image we loved. So it was I thought, you know, it's like being Freud. You know, what would he have put up on that board?
And the way that his mind worked, I mean, he was going in all different directions.
But we created that.
Yeah,
and,
that's really cool you guys did that.
Yeah, and I kept waiting for him. I mean, he only saw the film right before it was finished, but to say, I wouldn't have put that up there. He didn't.
Well, that's good
That
news,
was
right?
good.
Well, I thought it was cool the way you guys discussed and really drew out this whole storyline about him being a cinematographer in a different life. And
well,
how
a director, really.
And a director, right.
You know, he says, I write through my clothes.
Right.
He really did have fantasies of being in the movies. That was true.
He had that mind. I mean, just even like what you talk about throughout about playing these different characters, like the Sinatra thing with the music. Like, what was most interesting about like these different character roles that he played?
Well, that there were so many of them,
There
and
really
they were so
were.
varied, and he found a way to embody them all. He was Cary Grant, he was Fred Astaire, he was John Wayne, he was Steve McQueen, he was Paul Newman. I mean,
There's
you know.
so much more than just this guy. So much more than just Polo, and that's how he gets identified in so many circles.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know,
the Steve McQueen thing too. Yeah.